The Indian independence movement is often imagined as a sudden, explosive event. Historically, it began as a much quieter, more deliberate transformation. In the mid-19th century, millions of Indians lived under imperial rule, without an organized, unified voice to express their local grievances on a national stage. To challenge this, early thinkers pioneered a strategy called constitutional agitation. They realized they could use the empire's own legal frameworks and bureaucratic language to contest its authority. Between 1836 and 1885, a generation of educated citizens had to invent the very concept of Indian political association, learning to organize formally before they could ever take to the streets. Dismantling an entrenched global empire required an invisible blueprint, a prerequisite of administrative machinery and shared political language that had to be built from the ground up. Bengal in 1836 served as the geographical starting point for this organized thought. In the shadow of Calcutta's colonial architecture, the first experiments in political structure began to take shape. These earliest groups, like the 1838 Zamindari Association, prioritized the property interests of wealthy landlords. They were associations of the elite, focused on safeguarding their own estates. Over the next decade, the scope widened. By 1851, localized groups merged to form the British Indian Association, shifting the focus from private wealth toward governance. They formally petitioned the British Parliament to establish a popular legislature. Their proposal specifically demanded the separation of executive functions from judicial powers. These early demands proved that a colonized populace could successfully organize to petition the ruling power. It established the precedent for demanding direct Indian representation within the government. By the 1860s, a new strategic realization took hold. To change the colony, pressure had to be applied directly at the heart of the empire in London. Dadabhai Naoroji became the primary architect of this top-down diplomatic strategy. He understood that India's future required a voice within the British political system. In 1866, Naoroji founded the East India Association. Their goal was to force the Indian question into the daily discourse of British politicians, promoting Indian welfare from within the capital. By engaging directly with members of parliament, Naoroji elevated the fight from localized complaints to high-level imperial policy, proving the necessity of an international lobby. However, elite lobbying in London reached a limit. By 1876, the focus returned to India, driven by the understanding that international pressure required mass mobilization at home to be effective. This shift was led by Shirendranath Banerjee and the Indian Association of Calcutta, the most significant organizers of the pre-Congress era. Banerjee moved away from specialized elite interests, working instead to create a unified pan-Indian public opinion on political questions. This generation championed civil rights, Indian representation in government, and administrative restructuring. During this era, the demand for full independence was still years away. They relied on political education, teaching the public to critically evaluate colonial governance. This effort turned political thought into a shared public resource. Banerjee helped transform political agitation into a middle-class public duty, setting the structural stage for a national movement. By the mid-1880s, this model of political education had expanded far beyond Bengal. Emerging regional power centers, like those in Bombay, began to operate on a massive scale. In the south, the Madras Mahajan Sabha formed in 1884 to coordinate political efforts across the region. The following year, the Bombay Presidency Association launched, conducting highly organized regional political campaigns on the western coast. Hubs in Calcutta, Madras, and Bombay began to interlock. They actively shared communication networks, organizing tactics, and political goals. By 1885, India had become a sophisticated, interlinked political machine, moving past the era of disconnected local grievances. This 50-year evolution resulted in the founding of the Indian National Congress in December of 1885. The first Congress was the culmination of these regional associations and leaders, pooling their resources and education into a single national body. These early associations provided the drafting language, the civic networks, and the organizational machinery required to challenge the British Empire's hold on the subcontinent.